Hey there, and welcome to this demo video for pixelultra. I'm going to run through here, show you how everything works. Now, when you first load it up here, we need to go ahead and insert an image that we want to edit, okay? So I'm going to upload from my computer, and I'm going to select this little waterfall image that we have here, and I'm going to click on Open. And that's going to open up the folder that you see here. My layers, I'm going to minimize this. And basically the layers, it's kind of like Photoshop. If you were to add additional images here, you would have a list of your layers that you would see here. We can turn this off by clicking on the layers button here. When you start making adjustments, you can turn on your history and see the history of your adjustments and kind of jump back in the previous times to undo changes that you've made. Turn that off. And we can also click here to open up another image and insert it into our editor. So we're going to minimize that. We also have our save button to go ahead and save our file. On the far left hand side is our navigation. We have our basics, our text, our drawing options, filters, shapes, and stickers. So let's go ahead and start with the basics. We have our crop, rotate, resize. We can round the corners and change the colors, okay? So the crop, as you are aware, we can insert the dimensions here, or we can kind of drag it around and do it ourselves over here and crop our photo. I'm going to cancel mine for now. We can rotate our photo, as you can see there. We have a resize option to make it smaller. We can round our corners. If I turn this up a little bit, you're going to notice the little pencil mark over here where it shows you how much it's going to be rounded. So if I do it about right there, I can click on apply. And you can see we now have those rounded corners, okay? We can change the color here. So red, for example, click on apply. You can see our background is now red. All right. If we had more than one image uploaded, I could choose to merge those images here. If I click on the history tab now, you can see I changed the canvas color, and that gives us a nice little breakdown of the changes that we've made. Next, I'm going to click on the text over here. Right now we have handwriting selected, and with that selected, you're going to see all the different fonts here that we have that are kind of related to handwriting and look like handwriting, okay? If I click this drop-down menu, I can select display, for example, and now we have all these different display fonts. I can easily scroll down here, and down here along the bottom, you're going to notice that we have previous, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 17. I can click on these, and we can see our fonts are changing. So I have 17 different pages of fonts that I can look through, all right? Let's jump back to the handwriting, for example. If I'm looking for a very specific type of text or font, I can type search here, and let's try for Pacifo, for example, and there it is. I can click on that. When I do, we now have this text box that I can move around, and we have our text on the screen here. So double-click me to edit it. So I can just double-click inside of the box, and just change the text just like so. Say my headline, and of course I can change this text with the little box that we have over here. The opacity, bring my font size up a little bit. I can change the background, I can add an outline, and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and save it just like it is, and I can just move this around whenever I want, and that box is going to pop back up, okay? Next up, we have a drawing tab. When I click on that, we have these different brush effects that we can use. I'm going to select this brush here. We now have our editor with our thickness, the color, the shadow, etc. And I can just come over here and draw, okay? So I can point to my headline, for example, with a little arrow that I draw. And hopefully you draw yours much better than that one there. But we can freely draw on our image and make any adjustments that we want. I'm going to click on Save. And we have these different ones that you can choose from. We also have a bunch of different filters that you can choose from. And just by clicking on one of these, so grayscale, for example, that's going to apply it to our photo, and we can see exactly what it looks like with that filter. If I decide I don't like that filter, I can click on the little X here, and it's going to remove it, okay? So you can go through here and freely click on these filters, see how they look. You can even combine them if you wanted to, and add two of them at the same time and see what that looks like. And then come back through here and remove these, and you can see the difference, all right? So those are all the filters that we have. Some of these filters have settings. As you can see, I clicked on Remove White, and now we have this settings menu that pops up where I can select the distance and the threshold to try and remove all the white from my photo. Alrighty? I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for now. Next up, we have shapes. We can add circles, rectangles, triangles, ellipse, and polygons. So if I select a rectangle, for example, You can see we have this new menu. I'm going to move it over here a little bit. We have an image that we can upload inside of our rectangle. We can change the gradient, the colors, and of course, customize the rectangle however we want. I can come over here and resize this, drag it around, and make those changes from within this menu. We're going to go ahead and move this out of the way. We're going to scroll down, and then we're going to click on stickers, and we have a bunch of different stickers and doodles that we can add to our picture as well. Simply clicking on one of these is going to add it to our picture. We can move it around, change the color, the opacity, and we can keep clicking around. Besides doodles, you can see we have many to choose from. We also have transportation, stars that we can add, and chat bubbles that we can add, okay? So these are pretty cool. I can add this just like that there. We can always resize anything inside of the editor, as you can see. Something else you'll notice down here in the bottom right hand corner is our view, where we can kind of zoom out of this if the picture is taking up too much of your screen, or if it's kind of scaled past your screen. We can kind of zoom out here, and that way we can see our full image with no distractions. And just to quickly look at our history, you will see all the different things that we've been doing. And if I go all the way back to the rounded corners, for example, and click on it, that's going to take us back to the beginning where all I did was round my corners. And if I want to jump back forward ahead of time, I can go to the added rectangle, and it's going to go back to where I had the rectangle added over here, and we can go back to moving that around and rearranging it. All right? Now, once your image is completely finished and you are satisfied, all you have to do is click on Save, give it a file name here, choose the extension, the quality, and then click on Save. And that's just how simple it is to use Pixel Ultra to edit your images.